So we have Tasha K and Amber Heard, who are two examples of celebrities that have made millions of dollars, but who are struggling to pay their legal expenses. I wish I could have warned them that there is a price for hubris because it makes one reckless. They, unfortunately, could not pull themselves back from the edge of infamy, and neither could anyone else in their close circuit warn them about the consequences of their actions, or perhaps they were warned but didn't heed the warning. And here they are facing the consequences of their wrongdoing, resulting in them both having to pay millions of dollars. Both of them facing judgments that they're unable to pay. How are they going to pay this, you may be asking? Well, the answer may surprise you. Good old-fashioned insurance, if they have the right plans in place. Before I get into the particulars, this is the legal code, and on this channel we discuss a wide range of legal topics, whether that's to help your small business, estate planning, things going on in the news that I think you should know about so that you can be informed, as well as celebrity shenanigans, because from them we can all learn and take golden nuggets to apply in our life. So if you like that sort of thing, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course share with anyone else you think will find value. Also, I am a real life attorney, so if you would like the opportunity to troubleshoot some concerns you may be having, whether that's for your small business, estate planning, or you're just in a legal bind and you need some legal insight, you can of course contact me. The link is in the description box, and we could troubleshoot whatever area you're having some trouble with. Now, without further ado, let's discuss these judgments and how these notorious celebrities are going to pay it. Let's recap. It has been months after Cardi B won a nearly $4 million defamation verdict against Tasha K. Cardi B has yet to receive her victory money, and Tasha K has been rather vocal in saying that she does not have the money to pay for the verdict.
Allegedly, at this moment, I think it's $4 million you have to pay a celebrity. A lot of conversation has been is, do you even have that amount of money to pay in this lawsuit? Like, is Tasha K worth that amount of money to pay that?
I ain't got it. I always want to know. Listen, I'm so glad you said it. Listen, I ain't got it. Don't ask me for no money. I ain't got it. But listen, we have business things in place that takes care of things like this. Now, of course, the appellate court and the Supreme Court is in process right now.
So that is true. You're not trying to pay that $4 million. You're gonna do the appeal.
No. That's what the appellate court.
and then
I'm trying to pay $4 million. You got it. Can let me borrow?
Listen, that YouTube money is big checks.
It's good, but I got 2 children.
So let's go back in history in case you forgot the case. So in 2019, Cardi B filed the lawsuit against Tasha K over a malicious campaign to hurt Cardi B's reputation. Cardi B's attorney repeatedly tried and failed to get Tasha K to pull the videos down, but because Tasha K refused to retract the statements in the video or apologize, they moved to sue for defamation due to the harm the defamatory statements caused to the rapper's reputation. Following a trial, jurors sided decisively with Cardi B, holding Tasha K liable for defamation, invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional distress. They awarded more than $2.5 million in damages and another $1.3, I believe, in legal fees that Cardi B incurred in bringing the lawsuit. And also the judge issued an injunction forcing Tasha K to pull the video from the internet. Tasha K has since tried to appeal, saying that evidence was erroneously left out. The appellate court, of course, dismissed her first appeal, and she is currently trying again. I mean, she has the right to appeal, but everything I saw showed that she got a fair trial. It was pretty clear that there were things said about Cardi B that was motivated by malice and spite, and she did them solely to increase her audience. Because of that, she wasn't really believable. The appeals are clearly an effort to avoid paying the lawsuit, which will not work out in her favor because at the same time of delaying paying the judgment, she's incurring legal fees. So it's sort of like she's shooting herself in the foot all over again. And then she doesn't really have a good case to bring an appeal. Similarly, Amber Heard also lost a defamation lawsuit against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, and has been ordered to pay the actor $10 million in compensatory damages plus $5 million in punitive damages, which was reduced by the judge to $350,000 in accordance with the state's statutory cap. That brings the total to $10.35 that Johnny is waiting for. Her legal team also said that she didn't have the money to pay them nor this judgment. So where and how can these celebrities pay these judgments? It won't be from their earnings, but perhaps their insurance policy, or whether it's general liability insurance or their homeowner's insurance. But we'll see if it applies. Do I have your attention yet? Sounds bogus, right? But here are the details. Amber Heard is looking to her homeowner's insurance policy to cover this judgment. In her homeowner's policy, there is some language in there that covers defamation, trial, litigation. She is covered by Travelers, I believe, and some other company I can't recall at the moment. But the issue has arisen where Travelers is willing to pay half and wants the other insurance company to pay the other half. So they're at an impasse. Yes, it is typical for insurance company to pay legal expenses if you ever get sued for anything. So if you ever get sued, make sure you check with the insurance policy before you proceed with trying to find your own representation, even if it's just a simple general liability insurance for your business. I will discuss them both, the homeowner's insurance as well as the liability insurance. In terms of homeowner's insurance, it is not uncommon for homeowner's insurance to come into play to pay the fees of the insured. The insurance policies are like contracts. They are as narrow or as broad as it says. Typically, we think of homeowners insurance as covering injury to a third party on the property of the owner. But if you check the policy, there may be something in there that covers litigation fees for various subjects. However, there is a caveat in the policies where they're less likely to pay for your judgments or fees. And that has to do with intentional wrongdoings or intentional misconduct. They are more likely to cover for negligence, but not for intentionally hurting someone, i.e. punching them in the face and then that person turns around and sues. The insurance company is less likely to defend you. In these cases, Tasha K, we're dealing with defamation, which is an intentional tort. Insurance companies, insurance policies won't pay the verdict on this sort of intentional harm. It's not negligence, it's an intentional harm. So if you are in a legal pickle with your business, you will need to contact your insurance company. The company will do an investigation or check your policy and then issue what is called a reservation of rights, which is an insurer's notification of the insured that the coverage for a claim may or may not apply. This allows for an investigation by the insurance company without waiving its right to later denied coverage. When you buy liability policy, your insurer agrees to pay for your legal defense costs in addition to any damages you might be legally obligated to pay. Most states recognize this duty to defend as fairly broad under a commercial general liability policy. If there is a possibility that coverage might apply, the insurer must provide you with a legal defense. If there is a possibility, it's not an absolute right. So you have to do due diligence and comb through your policy. And also, one thing to note, don't always pick the cheapest policy. That's the mistake a lot of business owners make. They pick the cheapest policy instead of combing through to see exactly, based on the nature of their business, what they would actually need. And then picking a policy and drafting a policy based on the business needs, rather than the knee-jerk reaction to pay the one that's the cheapest for them. Okay, in terms of business insurance, business liability insurance covers costs if a customer trips and suffers an injury at the business or accidental damage of someone's property. This policy also covers personal injuries and advertising injuries such as libel, copyright infringement. Small business owners often need general liability insurance to fulfill requirements for a lease, a loan, or a contract. For example, a landlord may ask you to produce a certificate of insurance when you sign a commercial lease. Also, if a customer is hurt in an accident involving your business, the general liability insurance will help pay for the medical expenses of the injured party. It also covers the legal expenses if you have to go to court, if the customer sues over the injury. Your policy can cover the cost of the medical expenses, including emergency room, yada, yada, yada. Also, in terms of intentional torts, if someone sues a business owner or employee over slander, libel, false arrest, or copyright infringement, general liability insurance can help pay for legal expenses. For example, a maid at your house cleaning company tweets a rude comment about the sloppy work done by a competing company. The tweet goes viral. Owner of the competing business decides to sue for libel. The cleaning company's general liability insurance policy helps pay for the legal defense cost and if there's a resulting settlement or judgment. Also, here's another aspect I want you to think about. If you have an online business, which is what most of us are dealing with nowadays, you have to make sure your insurance company is aware that it's not brick and mortar and that there are other things that apply, like, for instance, hacking of your database, whether it's a security breach. There's separate online injuries that you want your insurance company to cover and to reflect in the policy. But similarly, there are exclusions to business insurance. It doesn't pay defense for intentional torts, even if you have an online business, willful negligence. So you see the pattern here, that intentional wrongdoing will not be covered. So with an online business, there's just separate types of risk, but their exclusions apply. So how much general liability insurance coverage do most small businesses need? Most small businesses opt for the standard $1 million per occurrence or $2 million aggregate policy limits. This means the policy will pay up to $1 million to cover a single claim, with a $2 million limit for a lifetime of the policy, typically 1 year. When buying a policy, make sure the deductible is something you can easily afford, because if you can't pay for it in a crisis, your insurance won't activate the coverage of your liability claim. Another thing to consider is professional errors, professional liability insurance. This is also called errors and omission insurance, can cover lawsuits over professional mistakes, including undelivered services and missed deadline. This is if you have a professional license, such as a lawyer, doctor, accountant. This is the particular type of insurance that people who are licensed professionals carry. This in addition to the aforementioned types of insurance. So as you can see, insurance is a necessary evil because it could be a lifeline in a crisis. A lot of people have distrust for insurance companies, and for the right reasons, but insurance companies can come in and really, really help you and not have to come out of pocket with legal fees or finding a lawyer. But you have to be really meticulous when reading the policy and selecting the policy. Like I said earlier, don't just pick the basic and cheapest. See what the needs of your business are and tailor the policy to be as narrow to what you need as an individual. With that being said, insurance does not allow you to be reckless and act with impunity like these two women that I mentioned earlier. you still have to be dutiful in whatever you're doing to make sure you're doing it with integrity and not intentionally harming another person. So as you can see, these women are desperate and they're struggling to come up with the money to pay. So that's why they're turning to this avenue. Next, you may be asking whether or not you can file for bankruptcy in order to pay judgments. Unfortunately, no. That's a flat out no. Bankruptcy does not discharge intentional misconduct again. Bankruptcy prevents a debtor from obtaining the discharge of any debt for willful or malicious injury. These ladies, their back is up against the wall. They're scrambling. As earlier as this morning, or last night, I even heard Tasha K, that Cardi B found the accounts of Tasha K and that there's only $1,000 in there. Whether or not Tasha K has moved money around in order to avoid her assets being seized, perhaps that's only speculation. Maybe Cardi B has the resources to find it anyway. She has the resources, she has the time, a lot more resources than Tasha K in terms of maneuvering and avoiding it. I doubt this money is hidden in offshore accounts. I don't think that Tasha K had the foresight to do that. So it's just a matter of time before Cardi B hunkers down and seizes Tasha K's assets, whatever is left. And even if they're transferred into families members, that can be undone. And so that's not a foolproof way of escaping the judgment. A judge can still seize the assets because it was done in an attempt to avoid paying the judgment. Similarly, Amber Heard, she's also, as you could see, struggling, grasping at straws to pay not only Johnny Depp, but her legal team. And so, pushing that aside, I just want you to be aware that they will let you know whether or not they will provide you with an attorney up front, in which case you won't have to pay out-of-pocket costs for representation, or they may say, find your attorney, let us know how the case goes, and then we'll reimburse you for whatever expenses and if there's a judgment. So those are the two options I wanted to lay out there for you. Like I said, we can learn from the celebrities, and I just wanted to take this golden nugget and share it with you so that you're aware, if you have a business, the insurance options, so that you're not left out on a limb scrambling to fight litigation or whatever the case may be. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.